Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Wednesday, August the 11th. The year's 2021. Let's talk trading. How to analyze a chart, part 11. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Yep, we're still analyzing charts. I had another viewer asked me to go in depth on order blocks and imbalances. So, earlier this year in the donationals, I did some, actually, I guess at the beginning of the year, I wrote some order block indicators and an some imbalance indicators. Now, I guess the first thing is we have to define our terms. And that was the biggest problem I had with order blocks, is because I look on one video and order block was defined by that trader one way. I look at another video and it was defined a different way. And I guess ICT is the one credited with coming up with order blocks. I'm trying to, okay. And so, and he has his own definition. Now, still, the other problem with order blocks that I found is they seemed a little subjective, because they would draw an order block on a chart and then you'd go, well, why didn't they draw it here, or why didn't they draw it there? Because it looks the same thing, but for some strange reason they didn't do it. So what I did was I decided, okay, how am I going to define an order block? Well, a bullish order block is where you have a bear candle followed by a bull candle, and the close of the bull candle is higher than the high of the bear candle. Okay, so you can see that pretty clearly right here. That here's the high, here's the close, bear candle, bull candle. Okay, and so now for a bearish order block, it's basically the opposite. You have a bull candle followed by a bear candle where the low of the bear candle is, or the close of the bear candle is below the low of the bull candle here. So we've got these order blocks. So what's the significance of order blocks? Well, it's first you got to understand something. It's a concept. And what they're saying is when you get one of these patterns, is that there's more orders in this area, in this block, that need to be filled. And you go, well, why is that? Well, what could happen is this. First, you have to understand that market orders move the market. So limit orders, if you just place limit orders, there's no movement. Somebody has to pick off a limit order. In other words, fill a limit order for it to happen. Now, of course, if you shoot in a buy limit order and there's at the ask price, well, what's happening is that, yeah, you're going to have that limit order, but you're basically doing a market order because you're at the market price. So you just have to understand that. So what happens is there could be a bunch of orders down here waiting to be filled, but because so many people, drove the price up, these orders haven't been filled. So price is going to needs to return. So in this case, you see what happened was price did return a few times and then it moved out. So that's how I define the order blocks. Now, what I also did was I created what I call the potential order block indicator. And let's see, we don't have any at that price. I guess, wait, let me just double check something. Potential order block, turn off should be false. Not true. And here we go. So you can see here, this was I call this a potential bullish order block, and it was. And then right here, we have a potential bearish order block. Now, this is an order block, but technically, this isn't an order block. But I call this a potential order block because we just have the bull bear pattern, bear bull pattern. So, because when I first started out, I just really couldn't figure out how to define an order block. And finally, after watching I don't know how many videos and reading how many PDFs, I just said, okay, this is how I'm going to define it. And I guess some of the people using the indicators like it because it seems that it pays off for them. And now, a lot of times, what the order block traders will do is they'll look at the higher time frames, maybe a daily, and you can see right here there was a potential block. But let me turn the potential one off. So turn that one off, and let's turn this one back on and see if we have any order blocks. Nope. Let me see on the daily, 1 day block period. Yeah. So what we have to do, let's go back 30 days. And there we have it. So right here we had a bearish order block. And we've got the bullish order block here. And so you see price, actually, this order block, in some cases, they would say this was invalidated because price came through and completely went through it. So this order block would be invalidated. That's the other thing about order blocks. So here it came down, but you had a bullish candle came all the way through, took out all the orders. So right now, what the order block traders would be doing is they'd be waiting to go long down in this area if price comes back to it. So that's how they're analyzing the chart. Now, the other thing about when I was reading about order blocks in one of the documents, there was something called imbalance. And I took to that really quickly because it was clearly defined what an imbalance was. And it was easy to see. And so what an imbalance is when you have these three candles where this low, there's a gap between the low of this candle and the high of this candle. So this creates what's called a selling imbalance. And down here, the low of this candle is higher than the high of this candle. So that creates a buying imbalance. So, and these can happen all over the chart. So right here, when we had that big move up today on the pound, you can see you've got these imbalance areas. And so price came back and actually touched the imbalance and left it. And so usually price needs to come and clear out these imbalances. And so the one thing to pick up is on the order blocks, you see, so this is an order block because this close is bigger than this high. Usually order blocks almost always create an imbalance. And I really think the imbalances is what moves, is even more important than the order block, because you can see where price might have a hard time penetrating based on those imbalances. Let's see. So for example, here on the M5, you had the imbalance right here. And then you see price came and touched it and then moved right away from it again. So this is an area you might want to sell. And then back down here, you can see price came in, moved out, in, out. So these are opportunities to buy. And that's how you can analyze the chart with the imbalances. So, and they'll be different on different time frames. So you can see you've got an imbalance on the 1 minute chart here and here. Then you go to 5 minute, different locations, and an M15. So I wrote an imbalance multimeter that shows you the imbalances. Now, what's an open imbalance? An open imbalance is one that hasn't been penetrated. Okay? So they're still open. So this is just giving you an idea how many open imbalances there are. So you can see there's one. Let's see. I got 1, 2. I guess this one's still considered open. 3. Actually, no, open imbalance. Let's see, we've got open imbalance and virgin imbalances, I think. I can't remember. It's been a while since I actually worked with imbalances. Was using them for a while, but I've just been working on just trading different style. But that's pretty much it on the order blocks and imbalances. So I guess the takeaway is you can use them, and they're used to identify places where price is likely to return to and reverse out of. So you can see price returned and reversed out of. And so on, like on an order block, like right here, this would be considered an order block. So you look for price to come to return to it and then reverse out of it. So you can see here on this particular candle, price returned to that order block and then reversed out of it. And so here to the imbalance, it'll come down and touch it, reverse out. And once it goes through, then it's been filled or canceled, or however you want to say it. So we don't consider that any longer. So I guess that wraps up the order block and imbalance chart analysis. Let me know if there's some other indicator that either I've written or that's just a commonplace indicator that you might want me to explain how to use it, how it works, and maybe that will help. So, fellow traders, no matter if you're using order blocks, imbalances, etc., because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.